Okay, this is warm-up number 2. What is the least possible sum of the digits displaying the time on a 12-hour digital clock? Well, there are only a couple possibilities. You could either have 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. or 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., but in both those cases, the sum of the digits will be 1. How many 4-digit palindromes contain the digits 1 and 2? Well, of course, a palindrome is a word that is the same backwards and forwards, so like Ada, for example. And containing the digits 1 and 2 with 4 digits, the only options are 1, 2, 2, 1 or 2, 1, 1, 2. Those are both palindromes, so the answer is 2. What is the radius of a circle with a circumference measuring 24 pi centimeters? Okay, well, the circumference is equal to 2 pi times the radius, or that would also be pi times the diameter. So we say the circumference is 24 pi equals 2 pi divided by r. Divide both sides by 2 pi. Pi's cancel, 2 pi's cancel. R is equal to 12 centimeters. So 12 centimeters. On a number line, what is 2/3 the distance from 1/2 to 2.25? Okay, so this is my number line. I'm going from 1/2 to 2 1/4, which is also equal to 5/4. Let's see. First of all, I want to find out what is this distance on the number line. So I say 5/4 minus 1/2, which is 2/4. That's equal to 3/4. And then I want to know what is 2/4 of that. Let's see. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake here. Actually, sorry. 2/4 is actually 9/4. So I have 9/4 minus 2/4 is 7/4. And then I want to know what is 2/3 of that. So I know that this distance is 7/4 on the number line, but I want to know what is the number 2/3. So I'm going to say 2/3 times 7/4. Get 2 there, that cancels. I get 7/6. So 2/3 of the way, this distance would be 7/6, but I want to know what is this number, so I have to add the half to it. So I say 1/2, which is 3/6, plus 7/6 is 10/6, and that is 5/3. The length of the rectangular sport fields is 3 times its width. Perimeter is 880. What is the area of the field? So this is my field. The length, the width is W, the length is 3W, the perimeter is 880. The perimeter is equal to W plus 3W plus W plus 3W. That's equal to the perimeter, 880, and so that's 4W, or excuse me, 8W equals 880. So W equals 110. And then I need to know what is the area. The area is equal to W times 3W. So that's 110 times 330. So I have 330 times 110. That's 0, 3, 0. So excuse me, 3, 0, 3, 3, 36. Pull my 0 down here. 36,300. 36,300 is the answer. Square meters. An item with an original price of $D has its price increased by X% and then decreased by X%. The resulting is 4% less than the original price. What is the value of X? Okay, well, this is a little tricky. So let me pull up a bigger sheet. All right, so I start with a price. I'm going to call it D. That's the original price. And then I'm going to decrease it by a percent X. And I'll be solving for X. So we're going to create an algebraic equation here and solve for X. I'll pause while this is coming up. Okay, so I start with the letter D. D, and then I'm going to decrease that price. This is the amount that I'm going to decrease it, X times D. All right, so this is the amount that I'm decreasing the price. Notice I have a negative sign here. So that is the price as it is in April when it's decreased by X%. And then I further decrease it in May by another X%. So I'm going to say X times this whole thing. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not decreasing, I'm increasing the price there. And then I decrease it by X% in May. So this is going to be D plus X times D. So let me step back here. This is the original price. I increase the price by this amount, X times D, some percentage of D, and then I decrease the price by this amount, which is some percentage X times the price that it was in April. And then this further is going to be equal to 4% less than the original price. And I want to know what the value is. So it's going to be equal to D minus 0.04, that's 4% times D. And now I solve for X. And this looks complicated, but a lot's going to cancel out. I'm just going to expand out that term. I have D plus X times D minus X times D plus, or rather minus, X squared times D equals D minus 0.04D. Okay, this goes away with this. I can cancel out this D by dividing the entire thing throughout, leaving a 1 here. So I'm going to have, oh no, pardon me, I'm sorry. Let me go back on that. I can cancel out this D with this D, and now I'm left with negative X squared D equals negative 0.04D, and now I can cancel out these two D's by dividing through. So I'm left with X squared, make these two positive, equals 0.04, and then take the square root of those sides. X is equal to 0.2. R is asking for this in percentages, so this is 20%. So the answer is 20%. Letter M's are stacked as shown, so that the top row is 1M, the second row is 2M's, and on and on. What is the least number of rows required by the total number of stacked M's to be divisible by 7? Well, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we have 10 so far. I can add another row. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 M's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will give me 15. And then add another row, which will have 6 M's. And that'll be 21. 21 is divisible by 7, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Josh mowed 1/3 of a 2,000-foot lawn in 18 minutes. At the same rate, how many minutes would it take him to mow a 4,200-foot lawn? Express your answer to the nearest whole number. Okay, so you could do this a variety of ways. First, I found out, well, I'll do this the way one of our students did it. I thought it was pretty clever. First of all, I can get, if he can mow 1/3 of a 2,000-foot square lawn in 18 minutes, that means he can do 2,000 square feet in 54 minutes. Because, 3 times 18 is 54. I can further simplify this, say that he does 1,000 square feet in half that time, which is going to be, 27 minutes. And I can further say that he does 100 square feet in 2.7 minutes, dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 10. And now, to do a 4,200 square foot lawn, I need to multiply this value, 2.7 minutes, by 42. So the total amount of time is going to be 2.7 minutes, which is the time it takes him to do 100 square feet times 42, and that's equal to 113 to the nearest whole number. The arc XYZ shown here is a semicircle. If XZ equals 15 units, what is the arc value of XY squared plus YZ squared? All right, so first of all, I have a triangle inscribed inside of this semicircle. And what you need to know is that a triangle inscribed or inside a semicircle, this angle will always be 90 degrees. That will always be a right triangle. And it doesn't matter how you inscribe it, as long as you start here and end here. Like for example, if I draw a triangle like this triangle is also a right triangle. So really once you know that, you really have to know the Pythagorean theorem. And so I have this side squared plus this side squared will equal this side squared. That would be A, that would be B, that would be C. The Pythagorean theorem is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, A squared is xy squared, B squared is yz squared. This is going to equal to xz squared, which is 15 squared, which is 225 units. 7 contestants enter a drawing that begins with 100 balls numbered 1 through 100 in a box. Each contestant randomly selects a ball without replacement. The 2 contestants who select balls with the 2 highest numbers will each win a cash prize. First contestant's ball is numbered these numbers. What is the probability that the last contestants will win a cash prize? All right, so let's see. You're going to have 2 winners. 7 of the people have already gone. There's only 1 person left to go. What we want to do is divide the number of favorable outcomes divided by the total number of outcomes. All right, there have already been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers drawn, so there are only 94 remaining numbers because it began with 100. I subtract 6 from 100, that's 94. So the total number of outcomes is 94. Now, the favorable outcomes, well, this guy has to get a number that's greater than 67. Okay, greater than 67. There are 33 balls that are greater than 67, but notice that one of those has already been drawn, 83. So the number of favorable outcomes would be 32. He has 32 possibilities that will give him a win on this drawing. So I have 32 divided by 94. I want to simplify that. That's 16 divided by 47. So that is the probability, 16 over 47.